Welcome to Intuitive Astrology with Molly McCord. Thank you so much for joining me today as we're going to discuss some of the energies, themes, and spiritual significance of Aquarius season. In 2026, Aquarius season begins on Monday, January 19th at 8:44 p.m. Eastern Time. The sun leaves Capricorn, enters into Aquarius, the 11th sign in the zodiac wheel, and is joined by a parade of planets also in Aquarius. Venus, Mercury, Mars, and Pluto are all residing here. So it's going to be quite a powerful Aquarius season. Not to mention, at the end of Aquarius season, we have our first Aquarius solar eclipse. Since 2018, we will have the Aquarius solar eclipse at 28 degrees on February 17th, and this also begins the year of the fire horse. So there's a lot of energy that's going to be unfolding here over the next few weeks, and I thought it would be helpful to discuss more of what Aquarius energy represents, the spiritual significance of this sign, and even some of the mythology that is associated with Aquarius. So Aquarius is the energy that happens after Capricorn season, and Aquarius is fixed air that desires to break apart traditions, to rebel against what was in order to revolutionize it and advance it. This is a very future-focused energy that wants things to look different, especially as we pull in more creativity, intelligence, wisdom, technology, and evolutionary consciousness. This is the energy of how can we advance not only our human experiences and the world, but at an individual level, how can we push ourselves into new areas of growth? Where have you been afraid to voyage that Aquarius is beckoning to you to go a little further, step outside the boundaries and the expectations you've had to see what else is possible? This is very spicy, sparky energy. There's a powerful life force associated with Aquarius. And not only does it advance us, but it also reminds us that we are beautifully connected to the divine because we are able to receive messages outside of typical human intelligence and human programming. Aquarius is where we welcome what might be considered weird, bizarre, crazy, and unexpected, because all of that is a part of the divine and is a part of how we also play with brilliance. So this is the energy of busting apart old paradigms and old patterns. This is where you might feel you're ready for something different, something new, something unexpected, and you don't even know what it is yet, because Aquarius energy does not want to be predictable. It doesn't want to show its cards. There's a desire for independence and personal sovereignty that must always be honored. And that's part of how Aquarius energy wants to experience itself, and also an energy that it can respect in others. Now, Aquarius is where we can have collective upgrades. It brings us in to new ways of perceiving and thinking about things, especially on a large scale. It brings in societal standards and norms, cultural values, what we agree to that is acceptable, as well as advancing us. Aquarius is connected to the next trends that are going to be popular or be sought after by the masses. Aquarius wants to honor our individual spirits and give everyone room to be themselves and to not feel that you have to fit into a particular mold or title. Rather, you can be many things at once. This is part of the multidimensional energies of Aquarius, where there are overlapping energies that form and create the wholeness of who you are, including multiple gifts and talents, multiple phases of growth and development, and even the multiple ways that you're learning about yourself, because Aquarius will invite you into your individuation process, understanding more of how you are a unique spark of the divine and what exactly that means in this lifetime. So in your astrology chart, any planets or placements you have in Aquarius naturally seek these forms of expression. They can be felt across a whole range of extremes. This is the systems buster, the disruptor, the innovator, the genius, the quirky scientist, the futurist as well. The cosmic energy that you embody is also found in the Aquarius expressions, or at least that could be how you sense them at first. And then you start to play with them and expand into them. Now, the Aquarius energy is, of course, not only strong during this particular Aquarius season, but we're moving more fully into the age of Aquarius. And that is something that happens over a span of time. Every age is based on where the Earth is in relation to the constellations. We've been in the age of Pisces for about 2,100 years, and we're moving into the age of Aquarius that also runs about 2,100 years. And as we transition into a new age, it happens slowly. There isn't just one start date that it occurs, but rather it comes in through the planetary transits that move into Aquarius. And we've had Uranus in Aquarius, Neptune in Aquarius, Chiron in Aquarius. Of course, we've also recently had the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction at 0 degrees of Aquarius back in December 2020. And as we know, we also have Pluto in Aquarius now. So these Aquarian energies have been slowly entering into our reality, affecting our collective consciousness, and ushering us into new ways of experiencing not only energies on the planet, but experiences of ourselves, knowing ourselves and who we are becoming through these Aquarian frequencies. At a frequency level, Aquarius carries electrical currents, quantum leaps and breakthroughs, powerful insights into the future, so future visioning, future self connections, new understandings of what's possible. Aquarius also rules the nervous system and how your body moves electrical currents and energies throughout your nervous system as well as your physical field. And so as we move into more of these Age of Aquarius energies, our nervous systems are feeling different. We're feeling a shift. In fact, we're becoming more aware of what is being communicated to us through our nervous system awareness. If you were to stop throughout the day and check in on what your nervous system is saying, you are moving into a whole new level of personal intelligence in understanding your energy field. You might realize you feel exhausted, but you're trying to push through the day. You might realize you feel quite energized and ready to go. Maybe you're feeling nervous, or you don't feel very comfortable in certain environments. Maybe you're feeling quite calm and peaceful. Whatever it may be, your nervous system is always communicating to you, always giving you intelligence to work with. And so we have been entering into this level of self-understanding for a while now. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm seeing people talking about the nervous system more than ever these days. And this is a beautiful hallmark of moving into the Age of Aquarius. Now, of course, we also know that this is bringing in more technology, AI, inventions, redesigns of systems, more solutions, scientific accelerations, developments. I mean, a lot is happening, and it's happening quickly. And that's part of how the Age of Aquarius is going to continue to unfold. It's almost like we're doing some really big quantum leaps, and it's not until we've made those leaps that we're going to see, wow, we've made some drastic changes here on our planet and in our lifestyles really rapidly. This hasn't happened this quickly before on the planet in this way before. And so there's going to be a lot unfolding that we don't fully understand right away or in the moment. And that's part of these Aquarian frequencies. Aquarius is co-ruled by both Uranus and Saturn. Saturn was the traditional ruler of Aquarius until Uranus was discovered in 1781. And so we have these two interesting archetypal influences with Saturn and Uranus contributing to the age of Aquarius experience. So if we were to look at Saturn, Saturn is about structures, tradition, reliability, stability. But when we apply it to Aquarius, Aquarius is all about disruption, breaking things, exposing what doesn't work, revealing what is out of alignment, what needs to be demolished or decentralized, what systems need to be re-innovated. So what happens is that first we have these disruptions that occur through the Aquarius experience. The disruptions come in to break apart what Capricorn solidified, built, and put into a structure. Aquarius says, no, that's not going to work for everyone. That's not going to work for this, that, and the other thing. We want it to be bigger than this. We want it to be more expansive. So the disruptive influence of Uranus shakes apart what needs to be interrupted, at least through that Aquarian lens. Then we bring in the energetics of Saturn. And Saturn says, well, okay, if you're going to tear this apart, then we need something new to emerge that will work. We can't just have chaos and anarchy all the time. So let's look at what we can responsibly co-create here, what can be developed that will serve a purpose and have a function. And so Saturn helps to steer things into a direction that leads to greater integration and usefulness. And this is where that Saturn influence helps us adapt to new paradigms, allows us to think of things in a new way, apply it in our real world, allows our nervous systems to recalibrate and understand what's going on. It also provides a stabilizing influence that we need at an individual primal level. So when you pull in both the Uranian and Saturn influences here, it gives more of a purpose and definition to what can be created through Aquarian ideals. Now, there is not a way to predict how things are going to go. That simply is not how the Aquarian energy works. But we can sense and feel with great anticipation that something new is being created and recreated. But in order to get there, of course, there's things that need to be demolished, collapsed, and reinvented. And so that is a big part of the energy we're moving through, and it will continue as Pluto voyages through Aquarius until 2044. So this means that for the next 18 years now, every Aquarius season is going to be quite significant because the sun will make an ongoing annual conjunction to Pluto in Aquarius every year, further bringing up these Aquarius energies that need to be disrupted and decentralized. And this, of course, will have mass effects on our societal systems, on what we've accepted as status quo, on what we've relied upon as well. And so this is where there is chaos, because then we wonder, where is this going? What's happening next? What's going to be created next? And we will certainly see what that is. That's actually part of Saturn's connection to Aquarius, is that Saturn wants to bring in not only the stability, but the reassurance that this is going to have a function. This is going to be something that performs and matters, but we've got to get through the bumpy, messy stuff first in order to arrive at what that new paradigm and new earth energies can truly be. So I think this is where it's interesting to pull in the archetypal significance of Aquarius, the water bearer. I have mentioned this already in a few previous podcasts, but it's worth describing even more because the water bearer is the energy of pouring water into the collective. Now, that water is actually not so literal. It's meant to be new floods of understanding and consciousness, new awareness around what's possible on the planet, new messages from the divine, and this relates directly to spiritual, intellectual, and energetic wisdom. And so that is how Aquarius is actually an air sign, is that it's pouring new intelligence and energies onto the planet, and it's representing how humanity and the earth is evolving because of these downloads. For example, there are new experiments and new innovations that come about that leads to breakthroughs in understanding. And if we can relate this directly to science, to technology, engineering, and how that then enters into our lifestyles and our experiences. New breakthroughs in understanding arrive when there is strong Aquarius influences. New ways of approaching old problems, new understandings that finally break through and shake something. This is the awakening energy of Aquarius. Aquarius is about the liberation and awakenings we feel as we bust out of something that was previously keeping us stuck or in a certain level of understanding. So this is where humanity advances with strong Aquarius energies, and we're willing to see things in a new way. How can this be better? How can this improve? This is the energy of the visionary, the innovator, the genius that I believe resides within all of us, that comes up and says, how can we approach this in a way that we've never done before, but it just might work. It just might be exactly what we're ready for next. This is also where humanity is moving into new understandings of our connections to the galactic frequencies, to the cosmos, to extraterrestrial beings, and to off-planet energies. This is where we're ready for new levels of higher dimensional communication, disclosure, important contacts, telepathy, energetic transmissions, maybe even sensing or feeling that you're getting some memories or recalls from other planets, other lifetimes, other dimensions. These are all of the expansive qualities of Aquarian frequencies, and they are accelerating right now on the planet. More people are getting these downloads of other places they've been, other experiences they've had, and they probably can't fully understand it or pinpoint where, but there's a remembering that opens up here, a sense of I've been to other places, I've been around other beings, I've been another version of myself. And so I feel that when we have a strong age of Aquarius influence, as we do right now, humanity has historically moved through DNA upgrades, changes to our nervous system, changes to our lifestyle on the planet, including how we eat, how we sleep, how we process energy. I believe that those are all of the upgrades that have historically unfolded when the Earth has moved through an age of Aquarius experience. Remember, it's about every 2,100 years that the Earth moves into a new age. And so we haven't been in an age of Aquarius for over 26,000 years. And so this immediately also calls in the influences of Atlantis. Atlantis was known for being an influential society, working with technology, science, intelligence, spiritual independence, some really amazing breakthroughs and advanced ways of living on the planet. I know there's a lot out there about Atlantis, so I can only offer you what I have learned and tapped into, but we are moving through a cycle that echoes Atlantis themes. But this time we are meant to not overly focus on the science, technology, and advancements that can develop, but we're meant to couple it with our heart, intuition, and creative abilities. We're meant to merge and blend the heart and mind, intuition and physical, spiritual and science. We're meant to be merging all these areas together in this particular phase of Aquarius energies. And that's part of the task and assignment, if you will, as well as the potential on the planet that's also being tested through these incoming AI advancements that are very convenient and perhaps bringing some things into our world that we need, but we're not meant to go into a fully robotic or technology way of life. We're not meant to relive the downfall of Atlantis or the extreme control, power, hubris, and even narcissism that developed during that previous cycle. In fact, the downloads I've received is that Atlantis is when narcissism first developed and became a part of the human experience. And so we're in a cycle right now where that's meant to be over and collapsing, where that is meant to phase out as it's no longer needed in the new cycle that we're moving into. So I say that in case that is validating for you and anything you've been moving through, is that this is meant to be a time of narcissistic collapse. This is meant to be a time when anything that's an extreme is no longer tolerated. And that can go in either direction, right? Because you can also have extreme empaths or extreme victims, just as you can have extreme power-hungry individuals, extreme master manipulators. This is meant to be a cycle where those extremes are destroyed because we're moving into a merging with the heart. And of course, you can look at this as the divine union of masculine and feminine energies within all of us that ultimately can elevate humanity and our experiences here. So one of the themes of the Age of Aquarius is that humans reinvent themselves, re-innovate the human experience and what it means to make the best of this earthly reality while also honoring your spiritual and intuitive gifts more often and more regularly. So I feel that is what we are learning to embody and integrate. That's also where we are beautifully supported by benevolent guides who are assisting humanity in seeing these themes, seeing these potentials, and offering us opportunities to make conscious choices around what we really want in our lives. And so all of this is much bigger than simply Aquarius season themes. There are galactic energies at play here. There are big cycles that are moving through us. There are many dimensions that are present as well. And so I hope that helps perhaps validate anything you are feeling or picking up on, because again, this is going to be a very big Aquarius season here in January and February 2026. And so I will keep touching on that as we move through this time period, but I hope this assists you in connecting with anything that deeply resonates or beautifully supports you and what you're sensing at this time. This means the energies are also going to be stronger for you in the Aquarius areas of your chart. I did an episode for you on Friday discussing why it was significant to identify 0 to 4 degrees of Aquarius in your chart by house placement, because this is where Pluto in Aquarius is at, and all 4 personal planets are going to make a conjunction to Pluto from about January 19th until January 27th. Venus, Mercury, the Sun, and Mars will each have those conjunctions to Pluto, requiring us to look at fears, face shadows, be very honest with ourselves around what we want for our future and for our lives now, and to not hold back what we think we have to do for others or for societal pressure. So yes, very big energies here in January. And then of course, we're moving into eclipse season, which will start on February 17th with that solar eclipse at 28 degrees of Aquarius. I'll be talking about that more very soon. But just a heads up, this is a big time of advancement and welcoming in your own evolutionary path, being willing to shift, grow, and evolve, to see yourself in a new light, connect with your gifts in a whole new way. And in fact, I wanted to mention, before I forgot, that coming up in March, there is an event called the Sedona Ascension Retreat during the Aries Equinox, March 20th, 21st, 22nd, and it is a gathering with over 22 presentations, workshops, and experiences that will support our ascension journey now. The theme is unconditional love is the key that opens portals and gateways. Numerous top-tier presenters will be there, including Daryl Anka and Bashar, Chris Bledsoe, Daniel Sheehan, Alan Steinfeld, William Henry, Sarah Breskman Cosme, Suzanne Ross, Yannicka from Wisdom of North, and also yours truly will be giving a live main stage presentation on how to be the galactic love glitch, how we are meant to do things wildly different right now, especially from the heart space, as love is needed more than ever on the planet. I'll be sharing how the astrology of right now is supporting us in these advancements. I'm also teaching a workshop about your multidimensional growth in this lifetime, and that will be focused on looking at your astrology chart and some of the specifics in your chart to be aware of from a multidimensional lens. So, of course, I'm very excited to be a contributor to this event. And I wanted to share it with you again in case you are able to be there in Sedona, March 20th through 22nd. There are 3 jam-packed days of these presentations, workshops, and even live panel discussions. You will certainly meet many wonderful people, learn a lot about the current dynamics we're living in, and it will just be an overall beautiful time with like-minded people. So I'll put the link below the podcast if you would like to check it out and join us there. This event does sell out every year. It is at the Sedona Performing Arts Center, and I believe there are some tickets still available. So you don't want to wait too long, but I hope that you can make it if this aligns for you, and I hope to meet you there as well. So as always, thank you so much for joining me. I'll be back here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for another podcast episode. And as a heads up, the Wednesday shows are going to be the weekly intuitive astrology. I have appreciated your feedback and thoughts on my new format, and I take it seriously. And so I will continue to do the weekly astrology every Wednesday. So I hope to see you there. Thank you so much for joining me for today's show, and wishing you a beautiful journey through Aquarius season.